Hey guys, thank you for hopping on here. GMB Pros with Riz. He should be hopping on here anytime now. Let me hit him up. Um Speaking of the devil, there he is. So guys, I appreciate you guys hopping on here for your support. Today, Tuesdays, we cover CTR. If you look at the past CTRs on Tuesdays, we've gone through organic, we've gone through, the GMB, like numbers, what you should look at, what makes a good campaign. Because you always get asked, like, what's a good, volume, what's not a good volume to do as far as the CTR is concerned. And so we kind of go through that. We generally talk different. We had a question while we were waiting to go live, like, hey, what tools? You guys have heard me talk about Assassin. I've had Ian on here. I talked a little bit about Viper, but some people may or may not. Let's see. Okay, Riz.
Hey.
How you doing? May not or not know certain things. Here we have, let me see, start video. See if I click on this, you guys are good, right? May or may not know like different tools. So we try to cover them. We go into a little bit about the proxy. So we try to cover that. And we always want to emphasize, basic foundation, basic stuff before the CTR is involved. So that's what today's CTR with Riz and myself, right, kind of show what our experience with it, its effectiveness, and not being effective. So thank you again, guys, GMB Pros, for those that are on here now, those that are on the replay. I appreciate you guys. And I want to ask if you guys are able to please turn on your video. That way we can put a name to a face. We can make sure everybody's here for the right reasons. I talked to you a little bit. I know we have there's Rob. How you doing, man? That we can put a name to a face and see what everybody who everybody is, right? So guys, today with Riz, we were just chatting a little bit ago. We want to cover a couple of things. The usefulness of CTR, right? There's so much that we can do with CTR, with certain URLs, with certain website organic, GMB focus. And we talked a little bit about, like, okay, with some of these programs you need the proxies. What makes a good proxy? Home or mobile proxies, right? So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand and we will get you unmuted, or you can just unmute yourself and we can get your question in. But today I kind of want to cover, like, how is CTR useful or even helpful to your guys's campaigns, right? Like, why do we want it? What is this big hype on it? So this week, Riz, I've gotten like a couple people like, hey, once Google finds out about CTR, it's going to be gone, it's going to get penalized. And if done correctly, in my opinion, if done correctly, don't get violent with it, don't get crazy with it. If done correctly, I don't think it's going to get penalized, because what we're doing is user engagement. What Google will see is like, hey, if it's abnormal, I think you will get affected. But if you do it the right way, I think it's very effective. It helps move certain things, with the GMB, with the website, move them up so you can get organic, natural, non, quote unquote CTR movement. So I kind of want to, that's like, those are the two questions that I've gotten this far. Hey, what's the future of CTR, the future of CTR, right? And I think, again, I think it's effective. If done correctly, it's very effective, right? And I don't really think it's very tool driven. Now, I personally don't have a lot of experience with different tools, right? but the tools that I have used have been very effective, aka Viper, aka Agency Assassin, the tool that I'm on now. You know, Riz has his own tool that he set up his bot. I don't think it's very tool driven, although there's, I think, good quality. Some are better than ours as far as the money and the time they take to leak certain things or not leak certain things, right? But if we're assuming that if everything all being equal, that, you know, CTR, I believe it is effective, used correctly, and no matter what tool you use, you have to use it correctly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think when it comes to tools, people like new tools, people like things that they're finding out about for the first time. And it's common for people to try many different tools to see which one is sort of gets the best results. But I think at the end of the day, it's really more about a preference of how you want to use it, as opposed to like the specific benefits of the results of the tool. Like some tools are cheap and you pay for it once and you need to set everything up. You need to have make sure the proxies are good. You need to check that it's not failing and you don't get reports and things like that. But for some people, that's what they want because they want a cheap solution that they can set up and that they can manage themselves. Whereas other tools, you might pay a monthly subscription and everything's included. You have your proxies included, you get your reports and all your scans and everything. And it's not to say that one tool works better and gets better results than another tool. I think it's more about the ease of use and how people want to, how much work they want to do to get the CTR set up and running. Because it's a lot of work to plan everything and do everything yourself, completely managed by yourself. If your proxies fail for whatever reason, then your jobs aren't going to run. But some people want that. But I think when people have this idea of like one tool is far better than another tool, yeah, tools have different like benefits and they have different spoofing and things like that. But it's more about how you use it and how you want to be and how you want to use it going forward. Some people are happy to pay more and do nothing, and others want to pay once and do it all themselves. So that's my opinion. I mean, I have a tool and I say that. I think use what you want. But in terms of CTR being effective and like the longevity of CTR, I think even so far, we've seen such a shift and such a change where it has become a little bit less effective. If you look back a few years ago, then there was a lot more leeway and there was a lot more sort of, you could do a more aggressive campaign and get results than you can today. And I think that comes down to a few things. One of the most important being user profiles, and like Google knows if it's a real person logged into an account versus if it's, even if it's a real person on a real computer that's never been used, connected to the library Wi-Fi, they're not going to credit that click as much as they would somebody that is a potential candidate for your website. So directly one for one, like a bot click, any bot, versus like a real person's click, the person's click is always going to be stronger because there's history, there's location history, there's search history. If they're a homeowner and they're looking for gardening services, well, that's super relevant. So Google's going to weight that click more. But in terms of CTR working to help rank your website from a manipulation perspective, it is extra engagement. And a certain percentage of Google's users aren't logged in and don't have history. So of course it's going to carry some weight. And the more Google sort of, the more attention Google puts on logged in accounts and users and history, the more you need to get the maths right and actually get a solid foundation for your CTR campaign where you're giving Google what they think they should expect in the terms of how many clicks you give them and where the clicks come from, and rounding it out in a natural sort of perspective. And I'll give a tip on the back of that. A very effective way is looking in your search console or looking in your Google business analytics, your backend, and seeing the words that you're actually getting accredited for and putting them into some sort of CTR campaign. Because if Google's already starting to show you and reward you and you're getting an increase in impressions, clicks naturally come next. So that's where we always start. Have a look at the search console or the GMB analytics, and then start filtering those keywords into your campaigns as well. Because that's what Google is expecting. And that comes back to the maths and sort of making sure that everything makes sense.
So let me ask you this, Reese. One of the things that you hear a lot is, and I think we mentioned it here before, even that tip, taking a look at the back of your Google Search Console and seeing what the numbers on there are. A couple of things, Riz. I don't know if you have an example, maybe one where you would look, because I think a lot of people on here don't even know where to look. They look at Google Search Console and they get cross-eyed. Like, man, there's a lot of information on here. Like, how do you even get? Where do you even click? What are the parameters, right? As far as time frames, or what are we looking at? I would love to show us on here, like where you would look at that if you can pop that up. That way we can connect the concept, right, of what we're talking about to over the shoulders. And that's one of the things that, you know, is one of our goals here, is I want to show, like, okay, I hear you guys talking, but what does that look like? What are the steps for that? So I would love to go through that as well to show people in the replay, or maybe even people here, and how to get those numbers.
Let me get some businesses I don't mind sharing up.
Okay.
Share my screen. Now the stats won't be very good for these because they're not actually active businesses. It's just a test. So there's not too many clicks. Where is the share button?
And I put Riz on the spot here, guys. We weren't planning on showing all of this, but I kind of want to show. So this is your search console, right? And
Yes,
then so when you say give that tip, where do we click? Where do we look? How do we interpret the information?
So this is a one-page website, but if you've got multiple pages and multiple services, then the first thing you want to look at is go into your pages and sort of have a look at the different service pages that you've got. And because obviously with the CTR campaigns, we're targeting a specific page. Like, we don't want Google to click on any page. We want to search for a specific keyword which triggers a page. So let's say, just for this example, because there's only a home page, we'll use the home page because that's what we're targeting. And if we go to queries, let me move this way, we're going to get all of the searches that we've been showing up for with the impressions, and then clicks as well. So what you can do is you can export these, and you can download it as a CSV or put it in a Google Sheet. And then from there, you can we want to remove the brand because we're going to make a completely different campaign for brand searches. You always want to separate them. But go through, remove the brand searches, and then here you've got a list of keywords, which are the keywords that Google is actually showing you for. And in terms of time frame, like how long you want to set this for, I think 3 months is good. It doesn't really matter too much. Like, the longer you do it, there's a potential of seeing keywords in there that maybe you don't rank for anymore. But if you're doing consistent work to the website, then all of the pages, you shouldn't have pages falling off, really. So I do 3 months. It's a good sort of good range. And then, yeah, you can download the report and you can go through it and you can see your actual CTR. So this is the real CTR, like the click-through rate from impressions to clicks. And this is a good thing as well, because This can give you a base for sort of how aggressive you can be. Like you don't want to be shooting, you don't want to be going way higher than the CTR of your best performing page. So if like all the pages here are 1, 2%, I mean, these are keywords, but for instance, you don't want to be shooting at 20% or 30% because it's just not natural.
So if you guys see that Excel sheet, guys, you can take the search volume, right? And you can see the position that they're in. So one thing you're going to notice is if they're in position 1, they're getting a lot more clicks. So I know Ian shared a lot with this as far as if you're a higher position in the SERPs or in the maps, you're going to get more clicks. So it kind of, you want to match that with reviews and then other factors as far as optimization, where keywords are. What we're trying to say here is, for example, car detailing, or is it Darren car detailing? It's less than 1%, right? So it doesn't make sense to really get violent with that one and slowly increase it till you get to, maybe page 1, because right now you're at the bottom of the page 1. So get it up onto page 1 to get more clicks. And then you got to look at that keyword too. Is it something that you're going to get a lot of search volume for it, and then you can work your percentages that way. Now, to kind of help on Richard's questions, we covered this a little bit. Each bot has its own benefits or its own control and its own, you can control certain things from it, like what's the percentage and how many clicks a day, is it mobile, is it a desktop, does it have other things like driving directions? So we just covered that a little bit, Richard, as far as it's a matter of you trying some. It's a matter of you maybe we hop on here. I have experience with Agency Assassin and other tools. Okay, you can do this with those, but it's really your preference and how much control you want to have and what other additional stuff you want to get. But this here, like Rice is saying, this is a pro tip, right? How much, as far as percentage, people always ask how much. This is a perfect example. You're getting this many impressions. This is the real click through with that many impressions with that search volume. So you can do the math and adjust it. I don't know if you want to go through it, Riz, real quick, your formula, or you can also look at previous GMB pros with Riz, and he actually goes through that formula on how he comes up with that.
Yeah, I'll answer Richard's question in a slightly different way as well. I
Please.
think when it comes to Google looking from CTR from real people, do you mean manipulating the CTR or actually rewarding you if you get higher clicks?
And let me hold on, Richard. What I'll do is let me let you oh, there you go. You can unmute.
Yeah. I've been running either the Kraken with Michael Bose. I'm going very conservative on my drip campaign, 80 on a newer company, 80% branded, 20% keyword diversity. No more than 100 clicks in a 60-day cycle. But I'm seeing very little movement over the last 90 days with 12 different clients. And I know that real Google users have browsing history and things of that nature, which legitimizes that activity versus a bot tool.
Yeah, definitely. I think Google's always going to weight the logged in accounts with history more. But it comes down to Google, how much resources is Google going to actually spend on all of this? If Google can do absolutely everything when it comes to anti-spoofing and cracking down on manipulating SEO, but how expensive is that? And what are they actually looking for? And how much emphasis are they putting on absolutely every aspect determine that that click is invalid. Like it's either sort of, the clicks are either invalid completely, like if it's a really poorly spoofed bot with a data center proxy, that click is just going to be completely invalidated. It might show up in Search Console, but you're not going to ever get any ranking benefits from something like that. On the other end of the scale, if it's a non-logged in account, but everything else matches and Google's expecting traffic because you're doing other things and you're getting an increase in impressions, Google's not looking that granular into like exactly why you're getting an increase. There's a big correlation between Google expecting extra traffic because of maybe you've launched new blogs, or you've launched new service pages, or you've just done on-page optimization, and then they test you. So they're often testing, they'll put you higher in the SERP, and if in that first moment when you start getting tested, if you can get some extra clicks, then Google's like, okay, these guys are good. So if most things are right, it works. Because there's just, I think that's the best way of looking at it. How much resources will Google actually put on determining whether a click is fake? But you're right. I mean, bots, like if there was a bot with logged in accounts, it's going to perform better. No question.
Hey, Richard, question for you. Now, are you going after the GMB or the website?
The CTR activity that I'm using through Kraken is change location, search brand first, go to the GMB, then click the web browser link to go to the website, stay on the website for a minute, browse page. And then 20% is keyword or a variation of the keyword, then it goes to the GMB and then GMB to the website.
Okay. So, but are you trying to push
Oh, I'm trying to push the GMB rankings.
GMB rankings? Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
I think with
Go ahead, Riz.
volume, I think you're probably shooting a little bit low. Like 1 click a day mixed between brand and target is not enough sort of either volume on the specific keyword or variations throughout the month.
Yeah. And
There's
then,
always a ratio between what you're getting currently and what your competitors are getting. Like if you have a website that doesn't rank at all, yes, you have to go very slow, and it will be slow. 1 or 2 clicks a day is sometimes all you can do if you don't have any traffic. But if you do have real traffic, it's always a ratio between how much traffic do you receive, and then how much traffic does the competitor receive? And
Yeah.
sort of,
Great question. In a local market with mattress and furniture store, organically through GMB organic and Facebook referrals, they might get 300 visitors a month or 350. The national competitor mattress firm might be getting 1,500 clicks a month in a smaller local market. So that's the ratio between the two.
okay. So do you think they're getting that mainly from the local SERPs or just because they're big? Because you have to go with competitors that are more like you. Like there's a lot of reasons why massive companies get more traffic. But I think if you're getting 300 clicks a month, then sending in 30 is a good start. I would also match the branded search. So like have a look at the competitors in SEMrush or something and see how much branded search they're getting as a percentage of their total traffic, because that's always a good indicator. And it changes in each SERP drastically.
Yeah, because of the budgets and the national brand awareness that companies like Mattress Firm, their branded search is over 40%.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Yeah, whereas the small owner operator companies that I represent or that I work for, the brand search is about 10% at most, 8 to 10% of their search volume.
Try and boost that up a little bit. It's hard to go too aggressive with brand search. I mean, that's a wild statement to say, but like you can be a lot more lenient with brand search because as long as you're not going way too high, the ratio between the brand search is quite important.
Between
try-
brand and keyword.
Yeah, and in the SERP as well. Like the branded traffic of the top competitors is something that you should be analyzing when looking at a CTR campaign.
Now, Richard, do you know where you're at as far as are you dominating your 3 miles? Like the radius?
Yeah, about 2 miles dominating, and then beyond that, that's where we have a drop off
Okay,
with,
yeah.
and we're looking at 35, 40 locations. So,
Okay. So yeah, because that's another thing that I personally will look at is these keywords. I want to dominate 3, and then I expand to 6 and then 9. And obviously, the further out we go, we drop down till we dominate the area. And usually for me, it's about 9-ish, 10 miles before like you can literally see a drop off. But Riz is correct, like that branding, I think should be a little bit higher. And then focusing on the GMB, making sure they go there with non and keyword and branded keyword, hitting that GMB, interacting with that GMB before they would leave.
Put the keywords in with the brand search as well. That's always good.
That's what I mean with when I say branded. It's brand plus keyword, brand, whatever your keywords, brand.
got it.
And there's a lot of other things that pull the knowledge panel. Like you don't want to go too aggressive on these, but putting like Google has a lot of modifiers which will show you like a featured snippet of details of the business. Like if you type in opening hours, like business name opening hours or business name phone number, then you get the knowledge panel, but you also get like the phone number, which is basically a snippet, or I'd call it a featured snippet because it's the phone number. That's a different search result, but the bots can most likely still click on the knowledge panel. So have a play around one day and search for your business name and phone number. Where is it? Or opening hours, things like that. Is the business open? Google will show you all these different little sort of featured snippets.
Okay.
And if as long as you do it at a low level, like you don't want to be searching once a day, is this business open? I don't know how sort of granular you can get with Kraken, but
Limited. Yeah, I can't click on a snippet like that. I can do a search, you know.
No, but it pulls the knowledge panel as well. So the bot just goes to the knowledge panel. It's just something additional on the page.
Okay.
It won't click on that featured snippet at all. It's not really a featured snippet. Like, let me show you.
Thank you. And that's why I reached out on your driving directions.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to book in a call. Let me show my
And
screen.
I see your hand, Omar and Henry. We'll get to you guys.
I have 2. So yeah, see like this. So this is saying that the business is open 24 hours. And if you really wanted to, you can engage with this, but it also shows the normal knowledge panel. So the bots can still engage with that, but it's a slightly different result. And obviously Google likes showing Google's things. So the more of these things you can trigger, the better. Or like you could also do where is, and it should sort of have the actual address. Is open. Some of them don't pull the knowledge panel, but most of them do. So that's something you can also do. Yeah, Harry, you have a question?
Yeah.
Go for it, Harry.
Okay, Reese, quick question. Do you think my competition can help Google by creating more links to, more clicks on my site on a CTR to penalize?
Um, yes and no. Like you can, but I mean, it's it's possible. But what makes you think this?
Because sometimes I can see my click-through rate jumps really, really high. And because of that, I can see my GMBs at this goes down like a number 10, 12 when it's normally is number 1 or 2.
Yeah, so I've done tests in the past of sending bulk clicks on different programs, and generally they're discredited, but sometimes it does have negative results. So it's possible. Is the amount of impressions different, or is it just a crazy spike in the
This is
clicks?
spiking like a 500% more.
Yeah. Can you see the impressions go up by the same amount?
No.
Well, like for every bot click, there's obviously one impression plus bots fail. So there's multiple impressions sometimes. And if the bot fails, but the result gets shown, then the impression still gets
Mhm.
received. So generally, when you spike the CTR, you will see a spike in impressions on the same day.
Same thing
Generally.
with us. If we create more clicks on our CTR on our website, we may get the penalized, you think?
I mean, yeah, like that's what we've been speaking about for months. Like,
Yeah.
don't go too hard.
That's the reason I asked that question about the competition you can do on my site.
I mean, it depends on what you throw off, really. Like, if you throw too many metrics off, then it can become a problem. But if you just get like an increase in clicks, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But yeah, there would be ways to strategically target a business to drop with CTR. Like if you mess with the right metrics, you could do it.
Thank you, brother.
Omar, you had a question?
Hi, yeah. In terms of the platform, is there different pricing, different packages and whatnot?
Yeah, for my program.
And I think it's not downloadable, like it's all in the cloud, right?
Yeah, so it's a fully managed service. Everything's included, all the proxies and it's sort of just drop your keywords and your search radius in, and then it goes from there. And pricing is, let me get it up. It's split into two different categories, and well, there's three plans. The first plan is $300 a month, and you get 45 daily searches, which is a combination of driving direction searches where the program actually drives to the business location, which obviously takes a lot more time than just a search and a click.
Correct.
You can put 3 businesses on that, and that's fully managed. And then it sort of goes up from there, really $100 a business slash for 15 clicks a day.
Mhm.
And then you get a few discounts as you go further.
Okay, now the driving direction, from how far from the business location does it do that?
So I think it's hard coded to turn off at 90 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But if it's that far, the average is about 20 to 30 minutes is what
Which is good enough. Yeah.
what we price for. Because some are going to be in the middle and some are going to be a bit further.
Okay, now I joined this call later. Have you demoed the software, or can I go back and watch this and see the demo or something like that?
So I haven't demoed the software publicly
Okay.
anywhere yet. We are still working on the front end. So there's
Okay.
actually like a reporting dashboard, which I had an update today actually, and
Okay.
I've got like a working draft. But so it's still in beta. I will be probably next month, I think I'll be demoing it properly.
Okay.
But if you do want to reach out privately, then I can show you how it works. And if you would like to sign up, then you're more than welcome to. But I'm not really,
Yeah. How can I reach out to you directly?
um,
Facebook?
I'll put the website.
I know I saw the website and then I did sign up for or call, but I missed that also. So
Okay, yeah. If you want to reach out on Facebook, how do I get my own Facebook link?
Yeah, I got you, Reese.
Oh, you got it. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reach out on Facebook. I'm in Europe. I live in Amsterdam, so time zone is it's about 7:30 in the evening here.
okay.
Yeah, I haven't really spoken too much about the tool. I think like these sessions are generally for me more about giving value and sort of explaining CTR. Like I think as we launch, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but it's yeah, reach out
Bro,
and
can I ask question? Can I ask question?
yeah,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot to add me in a valuable Zoom meeting. I'm watching William Jones from last 5 months, and he's sharing a lot of valuable stuff on Facebook. I highly appreciate to William. My question is that I'm doing a lot of business on anchor and model, but I have no particular physical location. Is there any method to approve GMB without any physical location, or anybody share which is the best method to get GMB review to high ranking?
For the verification, there's methods, but it's very difficult and it's not really something that's straightforward. It's in spammy niches, in rank and rent niches, it's very, very difficult. Generally, what happens these days is people find more like exploits, which they can abuse for like a couple of months and then they get patched. Like there's no sort of everlasting methods these days. I don't do any verification stuff. It's just too unpredictable. It's a handful. It's not like it used to be.
Okay.
And reviews counts on genuine devices with genuine activity and local history activity where the count stays in one city and actually engages on Google Maps and has emails and like it looks like a real person. That's when you're going to start to get reviews showing up if you need to post them.
Okay.
And reviews are definitely a ranking factor when it comes to Google Maps, like no question. One of the biggest.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Bro.
And welcome to the call. Great to have you here.
Now, guys, even with service area business, you can still use CTR. You can still rank them. No problem, right? Even with GMBs, we talked about verifying. If you have a soft suspend GMB, you can still rank those. The principles still apply, right? Using CTR with those type of GMBs. So don't take this like, oh, it's only for a specific address showing. Does it make it easier? 100% it does. Believe me, 100% it does if you show an address, right? But if you don't show it, it just makes our job a little bit harder, but you can definitely can. Even driving directions, you can still do it, right? I still do it. So, it's we're trying to keep these calls more into the CTR and ranking and the helpfulness of it. And then kind of to go along with like Richard's question is we want to make sure we're doing the basic foundations, right? So like, did we do, and this goes for anybody, did we do a press release? Did we, Web 2.0s? Did we do, you know, just a good, strong handful of citations, right? The basic packages of, as far as the backlinking, on-page stuff, right? Because the more on-page you do solidly, the less or the easier it's going to be on the off page, right? So we still want to make sure we cover those areas to help us with CTR. If you guys get those, I'm telling you, you're gonna knock it out of the park. A lot easier for yourself, for your clients. It's gonna be a lot easier. And then these are the little things that I think about. Pick up those little nuggets that Riz is saying as far as driving directions. He gave us times and averages. Those are important, guys. Those are little tips. The little tips like, hey, 369, those are important. The keywords, those are important. Once we have, and notice what Riz says at the beginning, hey, does that company bring up a knowledge panel, right? Guys, does it bring up all those keywords? Do they bring up a map pack? You know, and you know, these little tips when it comes to CTR, are those keywords that are bringing up, are they in your GMP? Are they in your website? Do you talk about, do you have a URL just for that? Right? These little tips tied in together is what makes that puzzle, right? We're all just trying to put in that puzzle, and all of this does matter. You know, it's not a black hat thing. It's just a basic foundation. What I like to call it as best practices. Build on those best practices. They do matter. They still work. It is still effective. You know,
Definitely.
so
And the amount of times you see you do your on page and do your backlinks, and then your website starts to rank, and maybe you haven't even gotten to your GMB yet, and then it starts to rank. Like the amount of times I've seen a client's page pop on page 1 organically, and then the map pack shoots up with no changes. There's a huge correlation between first page rankings and map pack rankings. And there's always 1 or 2 businesses in the map pack on the first page, always. And they're the businesses you want to be analyzing as well. And if there's a GMB which has 10 reviews and it doesn't have the best rating, it doesn't have so many photos, but the website ranks #1, analyze the website, because that's why the GMB is ranking. Maybe the services are mirrored over perfectly. Maybe they're just very old and established. But there's a huge correlation between first page rankings and organic and GMBs, like instantaneously. I've seen websites flick from position 12 to position 10, and the GMB turns from red to green. So some people sort of, they'll be like, oh, I don't have any intention to rank organically. I just want to rank with maps. And you can do it, definitely. But you should be trying to rank organically as well, because at the end of the day, it's not about your ranking. It's about the leads. And
ask Henry about that, or Harry about that. He predicted this whole review thing months ago. He said, guys, do not just focus on the GMB. We're going to get kicked. If there's any ladies in here, we're going to get kicked right in the nuts. Sorry. But, and then sure enough.
yeah, it happened. It wasn't fun.
Can I ask
Richard?
one more question?
For sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm doing a CTR manipulation with a different tool like CTR5 or agency session. But I am being confused at how many clicks we need to give website or GMB. How can I know how many clicks we need to give website or GMB to rank in top?
So the long answer is go back and watch the recordings that we've done in the past. The short answer, which I'll give you now, is it's all about these things. How much traffic you get already, how much traffic you need to get, what rank you are, and with GMBs, like the proximity, how much do you rank? Like how far do you rank, and how many searches are in that area? Because there might be 2,000 searches a month for a keyword, but if you only rank in like 10% of the city, there's only 200 searches in that area.
Great.
That would be the top things.
Oh,
But like
Thanks
you
a
want,
lot, buddy.
like the difference, 10% is always a good number. Like if you have a website, like if you don't have any traffic, you shouldn't do CTR, or you should do very small 1 or 2 clicks a day to build up over months while you get more traffic. But if you have a website that has traffic and it actually gets leads and it does decently, you're just trying to improve it.
Okay.
Say you
great.
rank on page 1. You want to take the difference between how many clicks you get and how many clicks the competitor gets. And a good estimate is 5 to 10% of that number. If it seems wrong, if it seems like it's too many clicks, it probably is. But like without checking the website and spending half an hour analyzing the campaign, that's a decent overview. But we did go over all of this in one class where I think we wrote a full report and I analyzed an industry and we made a campaign. But that's it in a short form.
Richard, you had a question?
Yeah, I did. Referencing, I wholeheartedly agree with on page and your GMB, the correlation between those two, your
Mhm.
categories on your H1 or your H2, breaking those down, your service descriptions or product descriptions, having those tiled in, schema on site, having everything, that part right. And then reviews, velocity as well as total review count and your overall ranking, having those all dialed in. But it's been mentioned several times, backlinks. Backlinks to websites, I understand. That's just topical relevant or geographically relevant links from either local or from, maybe a guest post or a niche edit or something like that. But links to your GMB or your GMB business site, is that a practice?
I link to both, yeah.
And where do you get your links?
Like buy the links, or which links do I link to?
Which links do you link to your GMB or GBP profile or your business.site?
I like the business site. I like the posts on the business site. You can edit the posts and then like keep them up to date and keep them fresh, but keep the same link. Pop-outs, you can link to pop-outs. Like these are all sort of, we tested this like a year ago. Linking to pop-outs works, linking to, like when I say pop-outs, I mean like the product page. Like if you click on the product and then you copy the URL, you might have to edit it a little bit, but you can generally get it where if you paste that, it'll show the URL and like it'll pop out the pop-up.
Okay.
Then reviews ones, you can get the review pop out.
Yeah, and I just started a campaign where I took the review, shared a review on the post, and then to learn more, went to the actual GMB or GBP review. And then I did an offer update, and then I ran a press release to 100 small publication press release back to the offer post on the business.site.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, there's a few manipulated URLs you can link to, like every business has a machine readable ID.
Yeah.
/G. You can put that in URLs and you can sort of change the keywords and pop different knowledge panels and things like that. Matthew just mentioned CID links and PID links. CID links have gone in waves in the past. They used to be great, and then there was a point in time where it just destroyed every business. I think these days they're not so negative anymore, but that's the thing with these GMB URLs. Like it's not natural to link to them. So what works today or worked a year ago might not continue to work.
That's my concern about manipulated, because you can also do a manipulated URL when you do a search for a competitor and then you come down and people also search for,
Hmm.
and you can grab that, which looks to Google like you know, scrolled down and preferentially selected that, which is fine on a CTR
Yeah.
with a user, but that was my concern about using a paid link, like a display ad, to link to a manipulated URL.
Yeah, we tested it on like Scrapebox and GSA and ran tens of thousands of links, and in a lot of the tests we saw increases. Like when I'm backlinking to backlinking to your GMB, your business site, great to like buy guest posts for and things. Put them in, like if you get 2 links in a guest post, put one in, great idea. Natural links, like your long share URL, where it might actually be natural to link to. You could buy links for that, and you probably see some benefits along with other things. But the manipulated links, more like sort of spam tools, and we didn't see any massive demotions apart from in CID. But I think that's since changed. I've seen a lot of tests in since we did them, and people have seen the opposite results again.
Thank you. And where do
Hopefully-
you buy? Where do you buy your links? If you're comfortable sharing them.
The outreach generally.
Okay.
So we just either outreach to different blogs, and then we built a list, or look at competitors' URLs is always a good one. Reach out to the blogs where
Mhm.
they have links, or just Google like guest relevant question. Like another way of doing it is to like Google questions and find the blogs that actually rank, and then reach out to those websites, and then you get a niche insert on a blog that ranks, but they're generally more expensive, sometimes thousands.
That's that's
So
we can blow a budget real quick on it for a small local
I
client.
reached out to some architecture website, just like an architecture blog, the other month, and I got a response, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll be happy to help you. Our advertising packages start at $10,000 a month." I was like, "No, thank you."
You can also,
I'm looking for a $50 link here.
I know I use Richard building my own. So I build my own, and I don't want to say stuff, but I make it very topical with entity variations. Put it up, you know, on the cloud, and then just point it. And another favorite of mine is just press releases, right, for the referring domain. Those are the ones that I use. Now there's very different press releases where they put a little bit more emphasis in the back to advertise it. Another ones that I've used is Bradley Benner.
Mhm.
He has the same mindset, I think, of what you're speaking about as far as being topical, I should say. So that's another one. And then the basic ones that on William Jones, as far as backlinks, I've always used those. Those are kind of my 4 go-tos.
Okay, thank you, guys.
So guys, we're coming up to 53. Yeah, hopefully that was very useful and helpful. Thank you guys for your questions. Yeah, Matt, Signal Genesis is also a good one. And the cool part, which I love, is a lot of these people that were mentioning it, they're friends of GMB Pros, and we love to support them. And Richard, you're not the first one. You're actually the 3rd person on this call that brings up Viper. So I'm going to reach out to Mike and see if he'll come on, you know, maybe once a month, or, you know, have him come on a longer session here to kind of speak on it, because we have nothing but love for Mike. And there's a lot of tools like Reese. You know, he has his own tool that he'll be coming out. We don't really push it because, like he said, it hasn't been out to the public yet. So we're looking for that, even myself. Yeah, see, Cho, you want to connect with you? Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, So guys, if you have any more questions, we're gonna go ahead and call it for today. I'm hoping that this was useful. I think it was. We had some specific questions to your guys' needs and wants. So I appreciate you. And I'll reach out to Mike, see if I can get him on here as well. But with that said, guys, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, everyone here. And like always, much love, much success, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Great week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. See you.